We are on number 10, approval of the minutes of the January 24th, 2022 board meeting.
Ms. Hammond?
Yes.
I'd like to move that we approve the minutes of the January 24th, 22 board meeting with one word change, and I apologize for not catching this before.
Oh, okay.
But in the first bullet under the board presented for discussion, CAR, S-T-A-K-I-N-G, change it to, I think it was standing issues. It says stalking issues.
Oh.
Was it standing?
Standing.
Car standing?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So do we need that, that's an amendment?
Yeah, I move
Okay.
that we approve the minutes with changing that one word from stalking to standing.
Standing. Is there a second?
S-T-A-N-D-I-N-G.
Mr. Hogan seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes with that change?
Wait a minute, I wanted to ask something too. Yes, to the minutes. I noticed that last week we had a resolution that was presented and passed by the board, but that wasn't in the minutes. Can we ask our Robert's Rule of Order lady if that's the proper? There was a resolution that was introduced and passed last board meeting, but that resolution I didn't find it in the minutes.
Was submitted, yeah.
Was it in there?
Ms. White?
It is?
It would be on the website.
January 24th meeting for everyone to view, but it is noted.
But is it in this package that we're approving tonight? Okay.
Let me find it. I just got to find the number real quick.
I didn't see it in there, but
It wasn't in what we received.
It's in section 4.
It's not in the packet, Ms. White. I think it's what Mr. Lovelace is saying. But it was submitted. Yes. Ms. Hines submitted it.
We'll get it added to the package.
We'll get it in the package.
yes, ma'am. That was the point I was making.
Thank
Okay,
you, Mr. Lovelace. Thank you so much. So now we will vote on the approval of the minutes with the addition of her word. So we are now to public participation. I have several remarks I'd like to make before public participation that deals with it. I know at the last meeting I allowed concerned parents to read, and I emphasize read from pages of certain books that are in our libraries that were offensive, and of course offensive to many, many people. The language was offensive, and yet I erred on the side of information and free speech. I think my social studies teacher side comes out, and I realize government believes in hearing from all the people, and I know the importance of majority rule and minority heard. However, in trying to very hard to allow free speech to all stakeholders, I still must respect the school district as a whole and the consequences of rude and disrespectful behavior to our body. So what I would like to do, I'm going to put on my teacher hat, 8th grade, so you have to be kind of tough. I want you to be advised in public participation that I plan to decide, and I will as chair, if anyone's tone, if their voice volume, or any actions appear to be rude or attacking in nature, I will gavel them out of order, and the mic will be cut. Your time will also be suspended. So please be aware of that, and we welcome hearing from you. But I am going to be the teacher hat, and it's going to be respectful. And I will read, let's see, at the bottom, which we read always. I just wanted you to be aware that I will cut the mic, and I will, your time will be suspended if I hit the gavel. The board welcomes, though, and encourages public participation. I truly believe in it. I want you to know that. And I do want to hear from everyone. The board wants to hear from everyone. However, the privilege of addressing the board does not include the ability to make personal attacks on any board member, district employee, or other member of the public. We respectfully ask that you adhere to the procedures and the decorum provided in Board Policy BEDH, public participation at meetings. Your comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Questions asked during public participation will be handled in accordance with Board Policy BEDH. I will remind you, we have the timing, so it helps you see it. It's in front of you. And please know that when your 3 minutes are up, your time is up, so watch your monitor. And with that, we'll begin public participation.
Thank you. Sarah Kirby of Irmo.
You're in the middle.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and the board. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. My name is Sarah Kirby. I'm a parent of a Irmo High School graduate, also married to a high school graduate from Irmo, and my brother-in-law. So we are a Irmo family, and I just want you to know that we're here to help support this school be successful, the students, the administrators, and the families of Irmo. A couple things I heard tonight, and I appreciate Dr. Ross, your overview of your ideas. A couple things. I have over 30 years experience in healthcare. I've been a health educator for a long time. And I just want to say that no matter how good your idea is, it is only as good as the team around you that's going to execute your idea. I heard a lot of discussion and great questions tonight about the logistics and the tactics around implementing the NEST program and some changes at Irmo. But again, I think the team has got to be on board. So I would ask that you pump the brakes a little bit and take the time to get your team on the same page, because it will directly impact the success of all of your good ideas. Secondly, I'd like to say that the idea of the NEST alone, again, I think that there are a lot of concerns and challenges internally at Irmo, and I'd like to see as a parent to get those issues straightened out first before you add more to your wagon. Again, I think that if we're having issues with disciplinary actions and issues with children, why add more to it until we can really demonstrate success with what we have? Why add more? And I really worry about the brand deposit or withdrawal it would take away from Irmo. Again, we're in the news, the laundry is out there being aired publicly, and again, it's not just Irmo, it's happening in a lot of our schools, but we just have such great history in this school. We love this school, and it's been successful, and I am a parent that believes that I'm right there with you. Kids wake up every day, and they want to be good and do right, and there are also kids that do make the decision every day to prove to you that they do not want to be in your school. And if that's the choice that they're making, I do think it is a powerful message to lose the privilege to stay at your home school to go to an alternative school. I think if you ask kids, what is it like that if you make a mistake or you are a repetitive offender of not following the code of conduct, what does it feel like to then just be able to stay at your home school? Well, they feel like they hit the jackpot, because you come in the same door, you're with your same friends, you might just go down a different hallway. Again, I'm overly simplifying things, but I think there's a real fear to follow the rules, because there is a change and a consequence that comes with your actions. That's the way of the world, and we're trying to get these kids prepared for the real world. Companies today are not going to not fire people, but just move them to a different department within the company in the future. And lastly, I would just say that
I'm sorry.
my time is up.
Time
So
is up.
thank you.
But thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Appreciate your remarks. Next.
Amber PayneThames of Irmo.
Good evening. I am a parent of Christian Payne at Lake Murray Elementary. He has been quarantined 21 days in January. He went back to school Monday and last Monday, and now he is sent home again to quarantine for close contact. He has not tested positive. We've tested him and tested him. I understand that she's mentioned that it wasn't going to start for those that have already been quarantined, but my son needs to go to school. Okay, he's not, as you said, Dr. Ross, he doesn't feel loved. He is a green student. He wants to be there. His teacher wants him there. Miss Reese wants him there. He feels like they don't want him to be there. So he had no instruction during this time. He because it was his table that was quarantined. It wasn't, so the teacher had to teach her class. If it's the whole class, at least they're all getting the same instruction. So he got instructed by me for 3 weeks straight. I have a job. I have another child. I cannot teach my kid. If I was going to do that, if we're going to continue to do it, I mean, then we as parents are going to have to make other decisions for their education, because I'm telling you, he's a good kid and he's college bound, but not like this. And we're hindering these South Carolinians, this in Georgia and in Florida. My entire family lives in Florida. They are not quarantining for close contact. People don't know that. Nobody knows it. It's true, and they're fine. So I've heard it's the funding that is the reason why we haven't made a motion. But I know we have a problem at Irmo High, but we're creating a problem for the next generation. My son hasn't been to school in a regular school year at all his entire life. He'll be 7 on Valentine's Day. We don't even know if he'll get to go to school that day. It's hindering relationships between the staff and the parents. By the 3rd week we were quarantined, we were getting duplicate work. Public schools take all students unless they are close contact. Causing parents to lie because they got to go to work, and so they're not going to tell you next time that they had close contact. So you're putting them in more danger by creating that environment. Thank you for my time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ashton Moody of Columbia.
Good evening, Chairwoman Hammond, board members, and Dr. Ross. My name is Ashton Moody. I'm a proud parent of 2 Irmo cluster students. They are 5th and 1st grade at Irmo Elementary, and we cannot put into words what that school and its staff has meant to us. My kids and their friends are the future of Irmo High. We have met the best families in our Irmo cluster, people who I am proud to know and I am grateful for my children to have as friends. And I am here stepping up for these kids because we want to stay the course. We want to send our kids to Irmo High. Our kids want to wear gold and black. And for the first time in a long time, I am questioning that plan. Whether Irmo has enough staff to provide a good education, I am questioning whether the building is safe and secure. And this makes me sad that in the 2nd wealthiest district in the state, these are questions I find myself and my friends asking. I am also a former teacher at Irmo High. I taught there for 12 years and left 4 years ago for a variety of reasons. The main reasons I left did seem to be improving. However, the past year, they seem to have resurfaced at an even greater extent. I have so much admiration for my former colleagues who have stayed the course. They are smart, loving, hardworking people. Some have been there for decades, but many are considering leaving. They feel stressed beyond capacity. When you took 19 positions this year, they haven't had room to come up for air. Their classes are filled to the brim at 28 plus kids. Then with all of these unfilled positions, they're covering 2 classes at a time, which we all know becomes damage control at best. If as many teachers leave this year as I've heard are trying, how will we fill these positions? We can't keep teachers in the classroom as it is, much less fill empty positions, much less make up for the 19 that were taken from us. One of the main reasons teachers are overwhelmed is a staff shortage, but the other reason is discipline. You can't maintain discipline when you're covering 2 classes and have over 35 kids in one room. You can't maintain safety, order, and consistency when the Alternative Academy releases 40 of Irmo's kids back to Irmo at one time. And this is not the administration's fault. I am a huge fan of IHS admin. They are working tirelessly to make success out of the cards they've been dealt, but you can't make success out of a teacher shortage and a lack of disciplinary support at a district level. I've heard it said that the main students causing the trouble make up 6% of the school, and I've been told that we can no longer expel students because it hurts the graduation rate and the school report card. But are we going easy on the 6% at the expense of the other 94? What about their safety and their learning environments? I'm fine with us not going the expulsion route, but there needs to be some sort of accountability. And the administrators and teachers are not miracle workers. If we're going to help the 6% from a whole child approach, then we need help. We need more social workers, more mental health counselors, and more teachers. We have been asking for your help. We have been patient. You don't see our cluster at these meetings berating you and acting a fool. But we as a cluster are tired, frustrated, and disappointed. We are begging for the help for the least of these and for all of the others too.
Thank you, thank you.
Kim Weber of Columbia.
Good evening, Chairwoman Hammond, board members, and Dr. Ross. My name is Kim Weber, and I'm a proud parent of an Irmo High School graduate and a current Irmo High School junior who, despite what I've read on social media, she is not a thug, she is not a druggie, she is not a delinquent, and she is not a bad kid. She's a kid. She is an Irmo High School student. I'm here to tell you that I'm not okay. My child is not okay, and the school that I love almost as much as my elementary school is not okay. Let me tell you a little bit about the Irmo cluster. We are a group of people, we work hard, we're loyal, we're kind, we pay attention, and we try to do what's right. Last year, when all this started, we were asked to go half in person, half virtual. We did it. Okay, no problems. Then it changed. We now are all in person, but wear a mask every moment. Okay, sure, we'll put on a mask and come to school, we're here. Then it was, you don't like that, then go virtual. Okay, the ones that didn't like it, they went virtual. We didn't stand up here, we didn't protest, we didn't raise a fuss, we didn't berate you, we didn't insult you, we followed the rules. We listened, we did what you asked us to do. But now we need help. We have more kids back in person than we had before we went out. Some of these kids haven't been in a classroom in a year and a half. Some of them have never stepped foot in a high school. This is their first experience, and they think it is, wild time. We need help. They need mental health counselors. We need social workers, behavior interventionists, tutoring. The list of needs for those students is endless. Our teachers are being asked to fulfill all of those roles. My child has a class where that one teacher teaches 3 different levels of subject matter in one block. This group, and that group. All the while trying to prepare them for school and trying to cover other classrooms. Why? Why is that? How can they teach? How can our children learn? From what I understand, 80 students are the ones that really present a concern. It's just 6%. And I worry about the 94%. We're going to have a nest, that sounds wonderful. But how do we help the 94% continue to excel and do their best, who they, for the last year and a half, have also been impacted? And it's hard on them, and they're in a chaotic environment. So the world is angry. Everybody has COVID fatigue, so do our kids. Kindness matters, and I really encourage us and our community to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beth White of Columbia.
Good evening, Madam Chair, the board, and Dr. Ross. I'm Beth White, and I am a parent of an Irmo High School student, and I am an educator for 32 years, standing here in front of you. My other 2 children, my older children, are graduates of Irmo High School, one of whom's name was called, he wasn't here, I don't know where he was, who got one of those grants, but he is a young teacher in this district, and he belongs to me, so I just want to put that out there first and foremost. But I want to speak to you, and I really will tell you, as I've listened tonight, it's really difficult for me to stand here. I wanted to come and only speak as a parent, but that is not going to be possible. I'm going to have to throw my identity as an educator in there as well. But I want to advocate first and foremost for Irmo High School. One for my daughter, who, when I was in another state doing professional development with all the middle school teachers in a district, and I was driving home Friday when I saw you come live. And when I got home, I asked my daughter, hey, what's going on? And she said, Mom, all I know is I don't get to go to school Monday and Tuesday. I want to go to school. So I want to share that with you as I hear another parent talk about that, even with the COVID. The irony of standing here and asking and begging, please let our kids go to school, it's kind of shocking to my system as an educator. So I want to say that first and foremost. But Dr. Ross, you know me personally, and you know that I am a problem solver. Anybody who knows me, who listens to me, I'm a namer. If I can name it, I can do something about it. But I'm an observer first. I'm going to observe purely, and I'm not going to work off my inferences. I do the same thing when I'm working with any learner of any age, and I teach adults mostly. That's my full-time job. And I have prepared, I will tell you, a lot of teachers in this district were students of mine in your middle schools, in your elementary schools, and intermediate schools. And I say that, I share this with you because what I'm seeing right now from my observations, and I work again first from pure observations, and then I infer, I think about what does that mean, and then I respond to that because as a trained educator, and I see two of you in front of me who are trained as educators, it is important for us to be responsive. And I learned from a colleague of mine years ago, we respond to the pattern of the observations and not the one-time occurrence. Think about that for just a minute. When we respond or when we go after the one-time occurrence, that's reactive. And that's not what we're trained to be. And what I'm asking you, why I'm standing here in the few short seconds that I have left, is I want to know how to support you. I am also the School Improvement Council Chair of Irmo High School. Proudly, I stand here as that person. And a lot of my folks are here. I want to help. If I had been contacted about these issues, I would have said, sit me down. I would think through this. When you pulled up staff, when you pulled up safe and learning, in my head I'm going, what does that look like? What does that sound like? That's how I problem solve. Let's do this together. Help us at Irmo High School. Don't work against us, and I'm not saying you are, but thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tony Carl of Columbia.
Is he gone? Say the name one more time.
Tony Carl.
Pass, okay.
Laura Sullivan of Irmo.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Members of the board, Dr. Ross, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Laura Sullivan. I'm here as a representative of the Irmo High School PTO and a mom of two sons in the district. I have a junior at Irmo High School. More specifically, I am the co-chair of the Irmo Strong 5K and Fun Run. If you're not familiar with this Irmo Strong event, it was created in 2019 with a vision to create collaboration across the parent volunteer organizations in our Irmo cluster. My goal tonight is to shine a spotlight of positivity on this amazing Irmo event that is celebrating its third year. While the event is hosted by Irmo High School PTO, the funds raised go to several participating schools across the Irmo cluster. We want to be a real example and show to our community that when we combine our resources, we can set and meet higher goals. Two examples of what we've been able to provide using the money from the 5K. First, in 2020, we were able to provide yard signs or door signs for our graduating seniors at no cost to their family as a way to help show their Irmo pride in our new normal. Second, we were able to provide breakfast and coffee to our exhausted school staff. We want to be able to do so much more in our schools to encourage our community and create uplifting events for our students and staff. I'm very excited to say registration for this year's 5K is open. In prior years, we've had nearly 300 participants, and we want to exceed that this year. We want to show our Irmo pride. If anyone would like to register or be part of this event, you can find more information on the Irmo website, or you can find us at Irmo Strong 5K on social media. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. That's great information. Yeah.
Thornton Kirby of Irmo.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Ross. My name is Thornton Kirby. I'm a member of the community. I'm an Irmo graduate, former student body president, the parent of a recent high school graduate from Irmo and the current senior at Dutch Fort. I'm also a member of the Irmo School Improvement Council, and I'm delighted to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. So I've spent my career in leadership of large organizations like universities and hospitals, worked with a lot of boards, served on a lot of boards, and I want to offer a couple of observations. First of all, I would say, Dr. Ross, the challenges you outlined are serious challenges, and they deserve a well-crafted response. A couple of observations from my perspective. Number one, I would say I'm concerned that if we have a problem at Irmo High School maintaining a safe and secure environment, then I question whether we need to solve that by bringing more students and concentrating the problem until we have addressed our ability to manage what we have. So you heard that theme earlier. The second observation I would suggest is Irmo has spent several decades now trying to become a destination. This district has made it a destination for students who want to excel in the arts and who want to have an international baccalaureate experience. So we've tried to build it as a destination, and my concern is let's not make it a destination for students who are safety and security problems. I don't think that that is consistent with the challenge of recruiting in a very challenging workforce environment right now. So that's a concern. The third would be something else you heard earlier. When we think about suspension and expulsion, none of us want to go to that point, but those are penalties or they are consequences of behavioral problems, and they should have significant impact. When we only move a student who has been suspended or expelled into a different classroom in the same building, I fear that severely reduces the impact of what is going on. So let me just wrap up with this thought. Irmo's challenges are leadership challenges. They are going to fall to leadership, and we have a leadership team in transition. In my experience, it's difficult enough to lead change. It's more so difficult to do it when you have a leadership team that's in transition, particularly when the time frame is accelerated. So I think it's incumbent, if we're going to go down that path, make sure we have a team that is ready to implement change, to execute. I like the idea. I want to be sure that you have the people in place to implement that and execute the change. So leadership challenge, I think you have to make sure you have a leadership team ready to do that. And it's more than just announcing it. It has to be executed well, top to bottom. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That concludes our public participation. Thank you. I appreciate all those Irmies. I am a proud parent of 3 children that graduated there, and I feel the Irmo pride. And I really applaud the people that have come out with suggestions and support and done in a very congenial manner. We appreciate it. Number